Today I'm going to show you exactly how I'm planning on investing my $100 monthly budget into my $12,000 dividend portfolio. I'm going to show you how I choose which dividend paying stock that I plan on investing on a monthly basis, and I'm going to break down exactly how I'm planning on eventually increasing my monthly budget so that I can invest even more. Hi guys, my name is Dennis, and in this channel I talk about personal finance as well as my continuous journey to financial freedom. Now I'm so excited about this video because it gives me the opportunity to show you guys how simple it could be to start investing with as little as $100. Well, actually you can invest as little as $1 because brokerages like Robinhood provide the ability to buy fractional shares, which means that you can invest into any company that you want to with as little as $1, and you're gonna purchase a certain fraction of that share with that $1. But as of right now, I feel like the $100 monthly budget is a great place to start investing without really feeling it too heavily in the pocket. Personally, I'm at a stage of my life where I can use this $100 monthly budget to invest into my Robinhood portfolio that is already risen up to $12,000. My plan is to use my investing portfolio to create enough passive income over time in the form of dividends so that I won't run out for the rest of my life. And I'm planning on achieving all of this by the age of 40, so I'm gonna have to start increasing my monthly budget very soon. But the best part is that whether you're on a monthly budget or not, anyone can achieve this. Now for my investing strategy, I chose something called DGI, which means dividend growth investing. DGI is a habit of buying blue chip dividend paying stocks over a long period of time. This is a very cool strategy for me personally because blue chip dividend paying stocks end up increasing their dividends eventually without sacrificing their growth of their stock. Which means that me as an investor, I'll be getting both an increase in the share price of the company as well as an increase in the dividend amount that they pay me. Plus, since I'm planning on reinvesting every single dividend that I receive from these companies back into these same companies, the compounding effect over the long term will be extraordinary. And I can reinvest these dividends automatically by a certain feature in Robinhood called DRIP. DRIP is a system where I can choose which company I want to reinvest back into itself and which company I don't want to reinvest back into itself, and it does it automatically. Blue chip dividend paying stocks are so large and stable as a company that they're able to pay us a fixed amount of dividend returns either on a quarterly or a monthly basis. You can go into any brokerage that you're using, search up the company that you're interested in, and scroll all the way down, and you might see the dividend percentage amount that they offer you as a holder of their company. This certain percentage means that they're gonna take that percentage out of their stock price and pay you dividends for owning that company. And instead of using your brokerage account, you can also go to a website called dividend.com where you can do the same thing, type in the company name, and it will show you everything that you need to know about this company in more detail than your brokerage. But the general rule is that the more percentage that that company offers you as a dividend, that the more they're gonna be paying you out, depending on the stock price. But like always, there's a catch, because if you only aim for the dividend paying companies that pay you a very high percentage, you're most likely gonna end up losing money eventually. This is because in my personal experience, the more percentage that that company offers, the more likely they're not to be safe. So keep that in mind. Take the company Apple, for example. They've been paying their dividends since 1989 and has consistently been growing in price as well. But the downside about owning Apple is that they're only offering 0.52% of a dividend yield. That's why I personally try to invest into companies that offer between a 3 and a 4% dividend yield so that I feel a little bit safer with my investments. Now, this doesn't mean that I won't be buying any of these companies that are less than 3% or higher than 4%. It just means that the majority of the dividend companies that I'm holding in my portfolio are going to be between 3 and 4% dividend yield. Now, normally with DGI, dividend growth investing, I don't just invest into dividend companies. I also invest into companies that grow as well. I generally look at 3 things in a company before I purchase that company: their dividend payouts, their dividend increases, and their share price growth over time. By the way, if you're finding this video helpful so far, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so that you can help this video spread to more people. Thank you. Now, with all that being said, I want to show you exactly how I'm planning on investing my $100 budget in this month. So my Robinhood portfolio is comprised of 30 different dividend paying stocks which includes a blend between ETFs and regular paying stocks. That's why I decided to divide my $100 monthly budget between ETFs and regular paying stocks. Now for this month specifically, I chose to invest into 5 different ETFs in my portfolio, as well as 5 different dividend paying companies in my portfolio. Starting with the first ETF that I want to invest into, and I'm pretty sure you guys all heard about it, and it's called VOO, also known as the S&P 500. I'm going to invest around $10 into this ETF because I'm going to be splitting my $100 evenly across 10 separate companies. So let's buy that right now. All you have to do is press on the little trade icon on the very bottom after you click on VOO, and then press buy. And right here, it gives you the option to buy in either dollars or shares. You can see at the top right, when you click that, it gives you the option to buy in either dollars or shares. And since I can't afford a full share of VOO right now, I'm gonna choose the option to invest in dollars. So I press on dollars, and it conveniently gives me an option to press the $10. So I'm gonna press on $10, and it looks like these $10 are worth 0.023067 shares of VOO. And I'm just gonna swipe up right now, and it looks like the order is confirmed. And I'm gonna receive a bunch of emails right now. So now that I'm done with that, I'm gonna press done, and I'm gonna look into the next ETF that I want to invest into. And the next ETF that I'm looking to invest in my portfolio is the one right under VOO called VTI. And VTI is the Vanguard's total stock market ETF, which means that they follow the whole stock market, not just the 500 companies in VOO, but the whole stock market in the US overall. And I want to invest, again, $10 into it. So I press on trade, press on buy, press on $10 and swipe up. And it's as simple as that. You can buy any share that you want and any portion of a share thanks to fractional shares. Now the next ETF that I want to invest into is SCHD. So as soon as you press on SCHD, you can see that it's worth around $75.21 at the current moment. And I'm gonna purchase $10 of this ETF as well. Let's press 10, swipe up, and we have another purchase of an ETF. Okay, now let's move to the next ETF that I want to invest into, which is VYM. VYM is a personal favorite ETF of mine. It's called the Vanguard High Dividend Yield ETF, which is exactly the reason why, if you scroll down all the way to see exactly how much dividend they pay around 3.07% of dividends, which is much higher than the S&P 500, which I think the S&P 500 was paying around 1.67%. So let's scroll all the way back up. VYM will buy another $10 of this stock. And the next ETF that I want to invest into is another personal favorite of mine called SPHD. And it reminds me a lot of VYM, but for this specific ETF, it looks into the high dividend companies in the S&P 500, but with low volatility. That means that companies that don't fluctuate too much in price. So this is another favorite company of mine. I'm gonna buy a $10 position in this company. And that was the last ETF that I wanted to invest into. Now I'm gonna move on into all of the regular dividend paying stocks that I have in my portfolio that I wanna invest into. Now going back to the criteria that I previously mentioned, where I'm looking at dividend increases, dividend payouts, and the stock's growth overall, the first company that comes to mind is a very famous company and it has been for a very long time, and it's called Johnson & Johnson. Now Johnson & Johnson has a dividend yield of 2.93%, and it has a history of a 62-year of dividend increases without stopping their dividends, not once. And again, I find all of this information either at my brokerage or dividend.com. And as you guys can see, Johnson & Johnson is a very popular holding in my portfolio. And again, I'm gonna buy another $10 worth of this company because I think this is a very, very safe company overall to own. Now the next company that I'm looking into is another company that's just as safe as Johnson & Johnson, and I'm of course talking about Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, also known as KO, offers a 3.05% dividend yield with a dividend increases of 62 years, the same as Johnson & Johnson. This means that they haven't missed a single payment in 62 years to their dividend holders. Now let's go to my Coca-Cola holding. I see I have around 6.89 shares, and let's add to this with another $10 worth. And it looks like $10 is worth 0.16 of this share of one share of Coca-Cola. I'm gonna swipe up and buy that right now. Now, the third dividend paying company that I wanna purchase in my portfolio is called O. It's a realty income company. So they actually pay their dividends monthly. So as you can see right here, O offers 5.23% dividend yield with a 31 year of dividend increases without stopping. That to me is still very safe. It's not as much as 62 years like the other two companies, but still 31 years is a very, very long time. So I'm gonna purchase $10 of this company as well. And it looks like $10 of this company is worth 0.174 shares. Now, the fourth company that I want to purchase is actually another REIT. It's the same as O, but it's a little bit different. And it's called NNN. NNN offers 5.21% dividend yield with a 34 years of dividend increases without stopping paying dividends. So this is another relatively safe company to buy into. And I'm going to purchase $10 of this company, which is worth 0.236 shares. And the last company that I want to invest into is an energy company called Duke Energy. Duke Energy offers 4.16% dividend yield, but it's only been paying their dividends for around 19 years consecutively with increases. This is not as much as all the other companies, but I still think that it's very relatively safe to buy into. So I'm gonna purchase $10 of this stock. And $10, it looks like it's worth 0.10 shares. And this is the last company that I'm purchasing in my Robinhood portfolio. And that equals $100 total with 10 companies invested into. And if you guys are interested in these same companies, you can ask me any questions you want about them below in the comments. Also in the comments, let me know if you guys want me to go into a deeper dive into each one of the companies in my Robinhood portfolio. Now, before we end this video, I just want you guys to keep in mind that every single time that you'll be receiving dividend income from any company, doesn't matter which, then you're gonna have to pay taxes on that money. Uncle Sam slides into the picture and wants a cut of your dividend income, so keep that in mind. Now, you can avoid paying taxes on all of these dividends if you place your investments into a tax advantage account such as a Roth IRA. The only two catches about a Roth IRA is that you can only invest up to $6,000 a year, which equals around $500 a month into a Roth IRA. And the second catch is that you can only take out all of these investments by the age of 59 and a half. But that's exactly why it's generally recommended to max out your Roth IRA first, which is $6,000, and then move on to a brokerage account like mine and start investing there. Now, as you guys just saw, that in my Robinhood portfolio, I have around 30 dividend paying companies, but not all of them are the best. That's exactly why I made this video right over here, where I talk about the best and the worst dividend paying companies in my $12,000 Robinhood portfolio. You can watch that right here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I just want you to remember that everything is figure outable.